The white building with black shutters that you see in front of you is affectionately known as the Irish Meetinghouse. This name honors the ancestors of the Scots-Irish immigrants who settled in this region in the early 1700s. The structure bears a date stone which reads, "Rebuilt 1841." This is the third place of worship to be erected on this property. The settlers followed the Presbyterian teachings of John Knox and likely worshipped initially in their homes. Around 1725, a log structure was built at the east end of the cemetery near the present-day location of the Red Schoolhouse. We have no other details about this structure. The Presbyterian Church of Deep Run was admitted into the Philadelphia Presbytery in 1732. The log church was used for worship until the 1770s. In 1770 and 1771, a lottery, a custom of the time, was used to raise funds to construct a larger stone church. It was built on the same site as the structure you see today. That first stone church is said to have faced south with doors on each end. It contained a raised walnut pulpit and sounding board on the north wall. Additional seating was added in a gallery on three sides of the church in 1776. The gallery was accessed by an outside stairway. John Dunlap, James Darrah, and William Darrah were members of this church and fought in the French and Indian War. For unknown reasons, this original stone church building fell into disrepair within 70 years. The Reverend Silas Andrews served both the Deep Run and the Doylestown Presbyterian congregations beginning in 1831 and may have been instrumental in the dismantling of the 1700 stone church and the construction of a larger stone church that you see today. Some accounts said there was a wood stove at the rear of the church for heating. Lighting was done by oil lamps. The Irish Meetinghouse has been used for worship services every year since 1841. Attendance rose and attendance fell. In lean years, services were held only a few times each year. In late 1957, the Deep Run and Doylestown congregations separated, and the Irish Meetinghouse was refurbished in order to begin holding regular services. This included adding central heat and electricity. By the late 1970s, two services were filled to capacity every Sunday, meaning that the congregation had outgrown the Irish Meetinghouse, and plans to build a larger sanctuary began. In 1991, the Irish Meetinghouse was carefully restored to assure safety and maintain historic value. In 2025, the Presbyterian Church of Deep Run will celebrate 300 years of Presbyterian worship at this site. To put this time frame into perspective, recall that William Penn began the colony of Pennsylvania just 44 years earlier in 1681. Worship started on this campus around 1725, 7 years before George Washington was born. The American Revolutionary War began in 1775. Church member Henry Darrah was a captain in the Revolution, and Thomas and Samuel Armstrong, along with other church members, also served. Pennsylvania became a state, the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, 62 years after the beginning of Presbyterian worship at Deep Run. Today, the Irish Meetinghouse remains an integral part of the religious life and worship on the Deep Run campus. We worship in the Irish Meetinghouse several times throughout the year. Please join us at these or any of our worship services, which are welcoming to everyone.